How come this report has so many instances where the auditors from the comptroller's office are still saying, after all is said and done, after they've sat down with you and gone through all these concerns, that your office has not produced the information they're looking for? Why is that throughout this entire report?
Okay, Sal, I'd like to address finding number one. That's the first one that you
I'd
brought.
like to know more generally, if you wouldn't mind, Commissioner, because it seems like this suggests a culture of lack of responsiveness and failure, and so I'm trying to figure out, so when we don't get back here in 2021 and have the same problems, what is why? I've never seen an audit report like this, frankly, where repeatedly it says management didn't respond to the auditors. What's the issue?
We're in a culture, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. So we have case managers that will swear that they made visits, face-to-face visits, and yet we don't have the evidence. You don't have it, it didn't happen. I mean, that's the way it ends up in an audit report, and I respect that. So what we did is what I said. We put in corrective measures, we put in new tools, and we have gone from, in all four categories, like 50, 60, 70% of the face-to-face is being done, to the lowest one being 91.8%, just as a result of putting in new policies. And I think I had a conversation with Comptroller Wilson the day before this was released publicly, and what he said to me was, Commissioner, you have a documentation problem. You don't have a performance problem so much as you have a documentation problem. And I took what he said to heart because I believed it. And so what we are doing now across the board, and I can tell you, sir, this isn't a culture problem, because if there was a culture problem, that would come from me. And you're not going to find that from me. You're not going to hear from me that we don't care and that we don't answer.